Hello, friends. You ever play an Oxygen Not Included and aimlessly scrolling around the map only to stumble upon something and say, "Sweet, jumping giraffe toenails, what is that?" Well, I'll tell you. When you're starting up a new game, over here on the right side is going to be all your story traits. And if you have the story trait of Ancient Specimen, that means that it's going to start spawning these fossils that you'll see that are buried around the map. In Spaced Out, you can turn these on or off depending on what you want to do, but in the base game, they'll spawn by default. When you get in the game, it's going to look something like this. Ancient Specimen. If you click on it, you'll see that there's 4 different fragments that are strewn about the map. This is one of them. There's another one right here. A couple others around the map, which we'll get to. But the first thing you'll want to do, come up here and get somebody to excavate it. Someone finally shows up. They will get their hammer and chisel out, and they will start chiseling this thing away. When they reveal it, you'll get something like this. And it'll give you a lot of text that we're not going to read right now. But basically, you just need to excavate all 4 of these. The first 2 are pretty straightforward. The first one being the Ancient Specimen. The second one that you'll usually find is this frozen fossil. So let's get this one out. Alright, Steve's digging this one out now. You might notice that it's quite cold in here. So, not going to be the biggest of deals for this one, but the environmental hazards are only going to get worse once you get to the later ones. Notice also that each time you do this, you will also get access to some of these fossil fragments. So you can just excavate those. And when your same duplicant, who takes forever to get over here and chisels the air apparently, finally destroys it, it'll give you a good amount of fossil that you can then use for producing steel, because you can crush this down into lime over at your rock crusher. Now here's the third one you might find, this Petrified fossil. You really want to be careful starting with this one because it is extremely hot inside here, and if you just casually open this up, you could cause yourself quite the overheating problem. So we're going to put a setup together to deal with this. Okay, now that we've got a way to enter this safely, I have a bank of suits here. I have a liquid lock made out of salt water, and we're just going to start entering this. Notice I'm entering from a wall because I do not want any gas transfer to go from here out into my base. I want to get rid of this gas or just go in here and start dealing with it. But there's so much gas here that it could start causing some problems boiling this water if we're not careful. So I'd rather just get rid of it. So what I want to do is I'm just going to ask my duplicants to come down here and dig this out. You will want access to steel for this, so this is one of the requirements. So I'll build a pump there. Oh, I still have my handy-dandy cheats on. Let's just let's pretend we didn't see that gas pump just magically appear, but your duplicants will have to come in here and build this. Once they get this, you'll want to hook it up to power. So I'm just going to hook it up to any old power line. There we go. And then the contents that come out of this are going to be a really long pipe that will reach all the way out into space. So you probably will need to get to your space biome by this point, because the contents of this we want to get rid of and we want to just send it out there. So I'll put together a big, long, igneous rock pipe that's insulated here just to prevent heat transfer, and we'll get that set up. Alright, now we got ourselves a pipe that's heading all the way out into space. I'm just using the same pipe that I would normally use to send gases out into space that I don't want. Make sure it's all insulated. Let's get this going. So, if you dig in the way that we did, you will automatically be in a vacuum because there was no gas there. So once we start opening it up to other gases, it will start to flow into there. The pump can pump it all out. But this one's not nearly as serious as anything else. So once you have access to this, you can start excavating this whenever your duplicants get down here. And then that should be pretty much it. And the gas pump will start working as soon as it's exposed to anything. There you go. You can see this gas is very hot, so there is a small chance your steel pipe or your steel pump will overheat. And if that's the case, oh, I'm like running out of power. Well, let's just, yeah. If that's the case, you will definitely want to replace it or fix it. But this can be a little bit of a pain. It can be some other ways to deal with this too. If you want to start like dumping water into here, you can turn this into a little bit of an energy setup. And it might be good to leave it there for a little bit, but yeah, let's get this excavated. Alright, Steve's here after his nightly nap. Of course, we had to wait on that. But the pump's still doing okay. This can resist up to about 275 C. Hydrogen is a little bit higher than that, but usually should be fine without having to repair this thing. Assuming that it's not just sitting here and taking a bunch of heat on from hydrogen that's being heated up. But yeah, there you go. Pretty much excavated. That's 3 out of 4. Let's find the amber fossil. Alright, and here it is. Note that it is submerged in carbon dioxide with zombie spores in the air. This is very, very bad. You do not want to expose your duplicants to this. So yeah, do not mess around with this. Do the same things we did before with the liquid locks. Your duplicants can get in there, and then use that same pipe that you were using to run your hydrogen out into space to run this infected carbon dioxide into space. So let's get that going. Alright, got our pipe, got our suit set up, got our water lock just like last time. We're going to expose this carbon dioxide to our pump, let it pump out all the zombie spores, but you really shouldn't need to worry about it getting on the suits or anything like that. It can't really transmit that way. Once the growth is halted, you can come up in here and get rid of this spore kit, or at least just dig it up. Then you might want to find a good place to put this. Typically, like underwater in a storage bin or something like that will work to keep it away from any pips that might be around, so they don't actually accidentally plant it and cause an outbreak. Now that we have this, let's see if Steve will get down here and excavate this and finish this up. There's our old buddy finishing this up. Should be done here in just a second, and that'll complete it, as this is our 4th out of 4 fossils that we should need, or at least the fragments. Also, I forgot to mention that when you do excavate this, it does drop a bunch of fossil on the ground. This is a lot, so you can do quite a bit with that. Now that we got this one, we've completed our storage trait. It will now allow you to activate the fossil quarry. And the fossil quarry is basically just a renewable source of fossils. So if I just wanted to mine this out at a slow rate, I could put this on like 3 or something like that. So that whenever my duplicants are looking for something to do that might be at a lower priority, you can see they're all idling right now. So if that does happen, they'll come over here and they'll start doing this. But this now becomes a renewable source of fossil, which is really going to help for steel production and that kind of stuff. And this will especially matter a little bit more in Spaced Out, but we'll save the final verdict until the next screen, I guess. See you there. Alright, now that we've seen how this whole thing works, let's go to the report card. So first of all, when to use these, I'm going to say mid-game. And this is like not super scientific, but the point is that you're going to need a couple things before you get into here safely, before you can start using it fully. You can mine out the 2 easier ones way earlier in the game if you want to, but you won't be able to finish and get the renewable fossil until later. Like I mentioned, the things that you really need to get in here are the Atmo suits and steel. The steel mainly being for the pump that's going to pump out the hot hydrogen or whatever spawns in there. I'm not sure if it's always hydrogen, could be something else. But yeah, you don't want it to overheat anything else and struggle with that. So you probably want steel and you want Atmo suits just to keep your duplicants safe. Third, ease of use. I'd say moderate. This isn't that hard to do, but the liquid lock and pumping stuff out and all that kind of stuff could be a little bit advanced if you're a newer player, but you know, that's what these videos are for. So yeah. Practicality, I'm going to say very. This is definitely something that if you need fossil, it's one of the easiest ways to get it, and it gives you a lot. So it's not like something that you're going to have to really jump through hoops to make it work. Alright, final verdict for the base game. I'm going to call it okay. And I'm only calling it okay because fossil and steel is not that hard to produce in the base game. You actually have a lot if you mine out the bottom of the map. So it's not really that essential, but I will say it's good for Spaced Out. Only because fossil and lime specifically from all its various sources is more rare in Spaced Out. So this is probably more appropriate there. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So now you know what this is. Hopefully this video gave you some good information. Let me know what you thought. I'll be back with another video here pretty soon. So keep watching if you're interested. This is the worst outro ever. Alright, whatever. Bye.